Is cost certainty in a construction project even possible? Join your hosts, AJ Paredes and Eric Baklik, and catch Patch live via YouTube as we travel to the land of seven chiefdoms to feature engineer Rolando Seprado and the success of his APC journey. Join us as we discuss his case study, cost certainty for Airbus A380 Hangar in Dubai. All these and more on Saturday, 28 August, 3 p.m. Manila time, 11 a.m. Dubai. See you!
And yes, we are live. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, everyone. I am Arlene Joy Paredes, or AJ, current president of PICQS Singapore chapter, and I am delighted to be your host once again for the eighth session of Patch. Okay, Patch is PICQS APC Talks channel aiming to provide overviews about chartered and certified professionals' APC journey, PICQS structured trainings, and every quantity surveyor's road to becoming QS professionals in order to maximize their career potential. For those who are not so familiar with PICQS, Philippine Institute of Certified Quantity Surveyors is an all-Filipino QS organization with a global reach. In a span of decade, PICQS has formed 12 chapters around the globe in Philippines, UK, UAE, Oman, Qatar, Bahrain, KSA, North America, Singapore, New Zealand, Australia, and our most recent formed chapter, BIM, Indochina. Our members are mostly QS trained engineers, architects, and other allied profession practicing the quantity surveying profession globally, and we have structured trainings to patch up the required competencies towards exponential career growth. Okay, finally, after two sessions running Patch solo, I am now glad to share with you that my co host has finally recovered and is now able to partake in our eighth session of Patch. Being head of the global communications of PICQS, and he also plays a vital role with the overall preparation for PAQS 2021 and PICQ's 10th anniversary celebration. So without further ado, I'm excited to share the virtual stage with you, none other than Engineer Eric Baklig. Hi, Eric.
Hi AJ. Hello. How are you? Yeah. I think it's nice to be back here in Patch.
Uh-huh.
Thank you for having me as your co-host. And good day to you and to all our members from our 12 strong chapters and viewers around the globe. So after the success of the previous sessions of the Patch, I am very happy for today's session. You know what? I've been hearing a lot of good feedback from our PICQS community regarding this patch initiative.
Wow.
And some are motivated to start their APC journey. And some are inspired by the success stories of our guests. So I am very excited again for this session to uncover the colorful life, never give up mindset, and the approach to why he is successful. And according to him, not a typical success story.
Correct. I agree with you. I fully
Yeah,
agree with you.
yeah.
Before we introduce our special guest for this afternoon, I would like to check how are you doing? Have you really recovered after this minor
Yeah.
COVID
Actually, I'm
experience?
yeah, I'm stronger now, and I think I'm back on track.
Good to hear.
There are a lot to be done, and I think I miss being a host of Patch.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
really nice to have you back. So,
Mm-mm.
without further ado, I think it's time for us to introduce our guest speaker, our featured guest for Patch 8 session. So, why don't you do the honor?
Okay, so our speaker is a graduate from Mapua Institute of Technology in Civil and Sanitary Engineering in 1992 and 1997 respectively, and completed his masteral in quantity surveying from Heriot-Watt University in 2012. With more than 29 years of experience in the construction industry, 21 years have been spent in the Middle East doing construction contract and commercial management, contracts administration, claims management, cost management in various construction projects, either representing the client, the consultant, or the contractor. His service exude the highest professional standards and ethical codes of conduct as mandated by his professional memberships with Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors, Australian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, and Philippine Institute of Certified Quantity Surveyors.
Wow.
Wow! Yeah. For someone with passion for learning, our guest even attended partial further study in advanced diploma in professional practice in contract management through College of Contract Management UK and got accepted to pursue the international construction practice and law from University of Stuttgart Institute of Construction Management in Germany.
So he
A
doesn't love
very
studying.
powerful, such a very powerful and education driven person. So, with
Really?
an equal passion for teaching and sharing, our guest has been an active contributor to the technical and professional development of his constituents in the Philippine Institute of Certified Quantity Surveyors as counselor, mentor for APC candidates, APC assessor, and presenter for continuing professional development programs. And then his active lifestyle in teaching and learning does not stop within the walls of the construction industry. You know what? Our featured guest for Patch is also into diving, being
Wow.
a licensed diver or the PADI from 2006 and an active instructor since 2007. His world of sports is also on a global scale and has founded Filipino International Triathlete or the FIT in 2013. And
Okay.
currently working as a commercial manager, he has also handled position as managing senior quantity surveyor, contracts manager, contracts administrator, and claims consultant in many projects and have brought projects into completion and closed out successfully with value for the client and avoided disputes. We cannot
Wow.
wait to welcome our featured guest for today's batch. Let us all give a virtual applause to Engineer Rolando L. Seprado. Yay!
Yes. Hello, Engineer Rolando. Hi, Sir
But
Rolando.
hello, I'm not sure if is it was it me the one you're introducing? It's too much. Anyway, thank you once again. Okay, I believe it's my fate to be associated with number 8. My favorite number is 8 because it's infinity, and I'm batch 88 in Mapua. I have 8
Wow.
lovely kids. Signature looking like 88. My name in diving is Seahorse 88, and I'm the 8th episode for the patch.
Yeah, it's
Right?
Yeah.
a coincidence, but yes, I think eight is attached to your personality, and you have infinite number of talents and inclinations, and of course your devotion to quantity surveying and commercial management.
I call it infinite chances and opportunities.
Wow.
Thank you very much for gracing us with your presence for our eighth session of Patch. And I hope that you're all well in Dubai
Yeah, we are okay. Actually, we are down to less than 1,000 cases of COVID,
per
and
day.
soon, or maybe the school are going to be 100% now open.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they are, and the government is really quite very good in handling the COVID-19 situation.
Oh, that's great to hear. How about the
Yeah.
borders? Are they about to open?
Still, there's some restrictions. However, for UAE, they were able to handle it, and most of the people here are all vaccinated.
Oh,
Vaccinated.
great. That's good to hear. So yourself as well and your family has been fully vaccinated.
Yes, I got my two dose Sinopharm, and I'm going to have a schedule for my booster, third dose Pfizer.
That's great. Okay, how about you, Eric? Have you been fully vaccinated?
Uh, I had done with my first vaccine already, and I am scheduled on September for my second dose.
Oh,
In terms of the vaccination rollout here in the Philippines, I think I would say we are going there,
yes, I
there
agree.
are still a lot to be done and considered by everyone, not just the government but the people as well.
Yes, I really can't wait for
Mhm.
the borders to be open. I myself is also into close watch, so I can fly home to Philippines and see you. I was hoping to be there this November for PAQS 2021. But we already have an
Mhm.
announcement to make. I think now it's currently hybrid, but further announcements will be made. So do watch out for it. And I hope you would continue to, all of our viewers would continue to register in PIQS 2021, also marking our 10th year anniversary.
Anniversary, yeah.
So, by the way, Mr. Rolando here is one of our founding members of PICQS, and we are very eager to know more about his experience, his APC experience, as well as his part of forming PICQS as an organization. Yeah, thank you very much, Sir Rolando Seprado, for this afternoon. And so,
My pleasure.
why don't we proceed to the first patch segment of our session today? Okay, thank you very much. That is our career journey in a nutshell.
Mhm.
So take it away, Eric. I
Yeah.
think you have the first
Okay, so Engineer Rolando, you have a strong
Rolando na
background.
lang.
Okay. Yeah, sure, sure. So Rolando, you have a strong background in civil and sanitary engineering as introduced a while ago. So how did you discover your passion in quantity surveying?
Okay. Thank you for this opportunity. But I would like to start it with my, because I've mentioned earlier during our pre-meeting that I have a colorful life. So,
Yeah.
so with the colorful life, I have a colorful path and journey. I'm a native of Davao City, and I studied in Assumption's School of Davao. Okay, and then for unfortunate event, our house got burned down, and we have to relocate to the province of South Cotabato, where I did my high school life in Notre Dame, Sorala. Their place is populated with Ilonggos. Okay, so I've learned by nature, because of our resilience to adapt in a community. I was able to be fluent in Ilonggo as well. I'm
Wow.
survived by my mother. Life was difficult, even to the point that we were have experience of staying in a squatters area. But though through my big brother, he worked for my father, and he helped me pay for my college in Mapua. But in Mapua, I'm supposed to the fee, or the during that time, is quite difficult, and I was forced to have a 5 units per sem. Just imagine, if I do a 5 units five per sem, I might finish after 10 years. So my mother decided to go abroad with my brother, Donnie, and my mother worked there as a tailor in Saudi Arabia for 25 years. And during those times, she's the one who's financing my studies. But during those times, there's no remittance, quick remittance like what we have right now. So I had to work. So I was working as a waiter in Dunkin' Donuts and also a French restaurant, La Baguette.
Uh-huh.
And yes, and I studied I continued my study in Mapua. Well, yes, I completed 4.5 years. Yes,
Wow.
and then yes, it's not because I'm a brilliant or I'm a genius, but I have my ways.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I'm a strategic person. Because I remember one time in my last sem, um, the maximum you could do is 21 units. Okay, but what I did, I went to the dean's office, and unfortunately, the dean is not there. Only the assistant dean. He
Mhm.
rejected my application for 27 units for the last sem. So I went to my dean, our dean, Supan. He was sick then, and then his wife was asking us to go home and leave our dean alone. So
Uh-huh.
I practically tricked my dean and asked him, "Sir, how long do you want to stay in this hospital? 1 day or 1 week?" And he said to me, "Of course, 1 day." And then I told him, "Exactly, sir. Same way. I don't want to stay 2 sems in Mapua anymore. I need to stay at least maximum one sem. So please sign this off. My application for 27
Oh,
units."
sorry.
And and then what happened? Um, I showed him the back portion and he signed there. And when he opened the front, he saw a rejected note by our assistant dean, and I told him, "Who's the dean? You. So you're the boss." So I went. So that's why I finished the civil engineer in 4.5 years. I
Wow.
started working around 1990. I was actually a bodeguero, or I could call myself in a posh way, property custodian in a construction. Okay.
Okay.
Then my first professional job was around 1992 when I graduated. It was a construction of a luxurious villa of my friend, then engineer Jeric Limacosa. He's a boarding mate actually. After that, I worked with for 5 years with AIM Property Developers Corporation. That was the big break of my career, as my bosses, architect Armando Mendoza. I call him Fortu, or Amama, and architect Marina Mendoza, his wife, gave me the path. They paved away the path for me to go,
Okay.
and they had gave me an opportunity and chances that started my career in project management, more on site works. So I have built the banks, various banks branches in various places in Luzon, and we build community housing, um and hotels and other luxurious villas as well.
Wow.
Wow.
And after 5 years, I went on my own and had my own small construction firm, and I did it for about 3 years. Then I came to abroad.
Oh,
Then
that's
that's
your
where, yeah, that's my path going towards QSing.
wow,
Wow.
that's an exciting story. Given that you have
Mhm.
gone through a lot from your formative years in the university, and of course, every single member of your family have to do sacrifices for us to graduate in college. Actually, that I think during our time, that's also a norm. Um,
Yeah.
People go abroad, and then we experience this. There's no proper remittance yet, and then you will receive money either one or every 5 months. No, that I think that's the normal way back then, but now it has all improved, and you have gone through a lot just to surpass the university years. And now we move on to your stint in the as an OFW. So, what do
Yeah.
you consider as the turning point in your career?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I was working as a project in project management in the Philippines.
Yes.
So I first came in way back. Oh, September 10th, 2000, year 2000.
Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
here in Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
I was working for a contracting firm. Okay, and then I was assigned in a small project as the project manager there in Dera. I know it's a popular place actually. All the tourist people needs to go there. It's the covering of the gold soup, where literally there's lots of golds displayed
Uh-huh.
on the street. I did the covering
Wow.
of that one. Yeah, made of teak wood, and like it's a covering, but it's really it's a very amazing art of work. Then we have suddenly I in my neighboring project I visited one of my colleague, and then when I walked past the meeting, I was actually literally walking very softly to avoid distracting them. And then I suddenly hear my name. Oh, here's Rolando. He's our project QS. I was stand. I said, oh, I am the project QS. Okay. Then what I said, what would I do? Then in my mind, okay, say, okay, I just go there, sat down without hesitation. I didn't see any show of any bewilderment or surprise. But honestly, I don't know what's the QS do then.
Oh.
Okay. So being a Mapuan, okay, I research. I did my part. I
Mhm.
research what's the roles and responsibility of a QS. Then I was scheduled to meet my counterpart, the consultant's QS. He's a Sri Lankan guy, a good chap. But I never showed any blankness that I don't know what I'm going to talk about with him. So what I did, I reverse psych him. Since based on my research about the function of a QS, before he even questioned me, I bombarded him with questions. Okay,
Yeah.
that style it has been worked for me for many scenarios. So we became friends, and then uh, since we are friends, then I was able, or I'm not embarrassed to ask him about how much do you get for being a quantity surveyor. I almost fell in my on my seat just knowing that he is receiving 2 or 3 times that I was receiving that time. He said, just imagine, I am the project manager. In the Philippines, when you're a project manager, you do all of the stuff. And I brought it that attitude, I brought it here. So that's
Mhm.
why my boss was so happy that I can do all of the tasks.
You're like the jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I said, wow, wait a minute. If I'm doing this much of work and he's doing just a part of a civil engineering work, then I think I'm in the wrong path. Not because I don't want to continue as a civil engineer, but during those time, the chances and opportunity to move up the ladder, being the project manager and more senior level, is quite difficult because of the language barrier. Because most
Oh.
of the people here, of course, it's an Arabic country, and I deal with Arabic people, and then Hindi. which I totally don't understand. And they don't also the laborers when you go there under the heat of the sun. You know, when our temperature here may go up to 50 degrees.
Wow.
And I'm
Okay.
telling you, it's not a joke. I
Yeah.
really salute all the engineers here who stayed those on those times outside
Mm-hmm.
under the heat. Then and then I realized, I said, okay, I need to um, move to a QS, and now I will be able to use the universal language better, which is or which are the numbers and of course the English language. So I now have the advantage, I believe, especially on the numbers, because I am a civil engineering profession, so I know
Mm-hmm.
I have a good edge. Because in my first job of being the quantity surveyor was another in another contracting company,
Mm-hmm.
but it is in Abu Dhabi. Okay,
Ah, okay.
yes, I was assigned in a very remote area. It's around 600 kilometers from the city of Abu Dhabi. It's the place called Sila, where
Mm-hmm.
it's the border, I think, of the Mom and Abu Dhabi. There, I spent my most of my time just working. And
Okay.
during those time, I know it's again, it's quite unfortunate for us because my company during that time was delayed in paying us, like almost
Oh.
4 months, 3 months, and it's
Wow.
killing us. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
really. But I don't want to sulk down and bury myself and be sorry. So what I did during those times, I was there remotely, alone in my cabin, where, by the way, we are staying in a porta cabin. Our office is also in a porta cabin. My neighbor is a camels. Okay, when you woke up, the camels are just roaming around. Then I studied the materials that I gathered through the help of that guy, and I started reading about quantity surveying, and then I dug myself deeper and know
Mm-hmm.
about rules and duties of a quantity surveyor because I never heard about it when I was in the Philippines. I realized that the quantity surveying is well known in UK or it is equivalent to a cost engineering in US.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just imagine the minor subjects in our civil engineering degree
Yeah.
from Mapua become my major now. Because those contracts, engineering economics, and estimates and
Yes,
engineering management are just minor subjects in Mapua or in our civil engineering degree.
it
But
is.
now I'm using it as the major tools in proceeding with my quantity
Incredible.
surveying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that was
yeah.
my turning point. That's how I became a QS. I am an accidental QS.
Mm. Well, there are a lot of accidental QSS because as we have discussed previously, there are no institution offering QSS here in the Philippines. So these are the
During that
opportunities
time,
for
yes.
us, yeah, at that
Mhm.
time.
Yeah, true,
So
true.
yeah, those were the pigments of the past and experiences, Mr. Rolando. No? So what can you consider as a struggle at some point in your career, or should I say, did you consider it as a struggle?
Um, I forget who said this one. Use any
Mhm.
struggles or difficulties as a stumbling blocks to your success.
Wow.
Okay. Um, there are, you know, it's the way how you look life. Okay.
Mhm.
Struggles are always there. If you're going to be beaten by the struggle, then you will lose.
Agree.
Mm-hmm.
So
Like,
the struggle between, you know, yeah, we are here. I'm here, if not all, to earn money
Mhm.
or to a career progression as well. So
mhm.
the struggle was how to improve, how to promote as yourself as a QS. So I was interested actually in taking a role in an oil and gas company. I got a chance, an opportunity to work. Yes, as a QS, part of QS. Um, I will be replacing a 25-year veteran there in that company.
Oh.
He's there for 25 years doing the estimates and costing of pressure vessel. You know that the oil and gas company offers way better than the other industry.
Normal
Yeah.
industry. Infra.
So I was tempted. Then I just asked him one question. I said, you're here for 25 years. So you've been experienced a lot. What are other tasks you do? And he told me, well, I estimated pressure vessels cost, and if any design specification, then I gather everything and give and propose and reject, approve. Okay. Then I asked one more time, what else? And he said, that's it. So I said, for 25 years, just imagine, just for 25 years, I will just be doing that alone. Well, the money offered is really good, but I, for me, I deserve more than that. Not only money, but I prefer the growth part, the growth
Uh,
or the career progression. Yeah. Then from contractor, okay, I was maybe because I'm quite you can say congeniality. I have a good rapport with my colleagues, and
mm,
especially like when I was a contractor. Instead of fighting the consultant, by the way, contractor, instead of fighting your consultant, be friend with them.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then yeah,
Mm,
and then what I did, I tried to learn what exactly a consultant does, my counterpart as a QS. Then I started applying, and I got lucky. I applied from and got accepted in Montgomery Watson Arza. It's a consulting firm. We still do this infrastructure.
mhm,
So I choose professional growth in Montgomery Watson rather than to be in the oil and gas company, which could have been paying more than that offered by Montgomery during that time. Yeah.
mhm,
So that's it. So I choose to be where I could have a chance and opportunity to develop professionally and personally as a quantity surveyor. Then during around the turn of 2003 and 2004, we are asked by our management to that our project is about to end, and that we can go and find another opportunities. So I did, because I don't want to stop sending my remittance to my responsibility back in the Philippines. And then I get an offer through a friend, a good friend of mine, a family good friend of mine, Sally Cordero. I hope you're listening. Thank you very
shout
much.
out.
Yeah, yeah. She's also from Mapua. Okay, and she was the one who introduced me the company called Blair Anderson way back July 2004. I got an interview and got accepted. Okay, and then uh, one when I give my notice for resignation in my other company, or my the company at the time, which is Montgomery Watson. The My director went to my site and asked me, why are you resigning? And I said, I received a memo that we can go and find because our project are finishing. And then he said, it's not applicable to you. You are a QS. We are the last line of defense. He said, oh, it doesn't it did not specify in that that memo.
Mhm.
I was scared, so I need to find a job. And then I said, okay, hold on, I'll do something. And he went back after 2 days, or not even 2 days. He called me back, and we had a meeting. And he told me, I'm going to give you an offer that you cannot reject.
Mhm.
Yeah, the offer was really really good, and then even higher than what Blair Anderson was offering me. And then I told my friend Sally, I get an offer, a counter offer from my existing company. Should I go or not? And she, so you know what she said? Actually, she swears a lot. She told me, yeah, she told me, if you are not going to report to Blair Anderson, forget about our friendship.
Oh.
Yes, because she told me, if I will not go and join Blair Anderson that time, she will lose the credibility of referring further Filipinos QS like us
Mhm.
into the company. But why? But although in that on that particular moment, I already decided, because I also have, I need to live also with integrity. That when
Yeah.
you said something yes to officially, okay, uh, you should at least go step in and then explain yourself.
Yeah.
So what I did, I went and joined Blair Anderson way back 2004.
And that is
So
where, okay. And
yeah,
it is with is it with Blair that you had to go through your case study, right? You have chosen
yes,
topic
yes, yes,
Oh.
yes,
with
exactly.
your project
Yeah,
through Blair
because
Anderson.
yeah, because when I joined there, I talked to the director. I told him, to be honest, I got an offer, a counter offer of your offer, but
Mhm.
but since I gave you my word, I'm here. But I hope, with due respect, to please reconsider my status in less than in lesser 6 months, because usually the provisional period was 6 months.
6 months.
Yes, and I'm so thankful. It's so they did, they gave me an opportunity and chances in to be acting as a quantity surveyor in
Mm-hmm.
that company. And in just 3 months or less, they promoted me, and then they gave me more than what was offered to me by Montgomery Watson.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
and again, I told you earlier, right, that I always been in like in an accidental QS. Now I become accidental team leader. You know how? Okay, we were there are two of us, one a British guy, and and me. I know I'm more experienced than him in terms of numbers of years,
Mhm.
but I haven't proven myself yet. Okay, so maybe he already proved himself. So we were asked to join, or to do report to the client on the first day of the week. But before the first day of the week, this guy or this colleague of mine resigned. So I was there. I reported there alone. Then, and my director said, just say you will be representing us. Okay, okay, I'll be representing, and I'm going to take over the handing over of the previous team leader. Okay, the consultant was a French. This is a very good collaboration, actually. The consultant was French. Okay, the contractor was Greek. Okay,
Wow.
and the other contractor was Turkish, and the management of the employer, of course, is the local of UAE, and the cost management is a Filipino or a British company. So it was quite a diverse nationality.
Mhm.
It was not an easy entrance or entry of me being the team leader there. Why? I'm not. I feel some quite a bit of discrimination. Not totally, not directly, but I can feel it. Maybe just my feeling. Okay, but I was able to surpass it because in the meeting they will be like talking about lots of things, and
Uh-huh.
then one time what I did, I gather all the pending items. Okay, that's what I did first. I all took the list of the pending items for that month, and then I narrow it down. And the next following meeting, I took them by surprise and give them all the rejected VOs that I reviewed. And the contractor was so angry, and they were trying to almost really fight with me. Then they will not accept this. They will talk to my director. Okay. Then um my director, after maybe few hours, my director phoned me. Okay, and I anticipate. I know maybe because of that heated meeting. What and then before he was able to speak, I told him, if you're going to reprimand me of what I did, I think I will not accept it. I did my work as per the contract. I did as per the reasonable and fair as a quantity surveyor, as a team leader for this project representing you. And I'm really glad that Anderson has been very supportive, and they trust me. They trusted me, and I got the support from my director, Lee Simos. Okay, he became a good friend also of mine. In fact, I will be meeting him next week.
Wow.
And my mentor, my good mentor, Gordon Clark, he was the one who pushed me that, Rolando, you have to step up. Okay. Then after that incident, in the following meeting, this contractor and consultant were telling me, "Oh, the boss, the boss." They calling me the boss. I said, "Why are you calling me the boss?" Then I realized that my director informed them that I will be representing their understand, and they whatever my works or it will be in coordination with the head office. So they trusted me. That's what like I can consider a struggle, but I was able to turn
Yeah.
it into a stumbling block.
You have
Eh,
proved
you,
them wrong. Okay, so
mhm.
it's a really inspiring story, and that, my friend, is just the career journey in a nutshell. So as we,
Um,
yes, yes, sir.
yes, I just want to add some more. Okay, I forget something. But I think
Okay.
this is also another turning point of a career of a quantity surveyor. Um, Whether you accept it or not, we civil engineers or engineers, when we graduated as a rookie engineer, we always wear a rugged style, right? So now, when I became a quantity surveyor, by the way, okay, you have to package yourself well. And I'm glad that my wife, Alma, she transformed me into a bit of a
Wow.
human being, you know?
A bit of.
Because I don't know what to wear then. I just know how to wear jeans and black shirt and white shirt. That's it. And then I was introduced with a new fashion, a corporate looking gentleman rather than a rookie engineer style. It
Wow.
does really make a difference. You know why? Because I overheard my directors. Because in our office, our is just our office is just divided with like a cubicle where you can overhear, you can really eavesdrop the conversation, and I hear them saying like, Why don't we present Rolando? He quite he's quite presentable anyway. See, so that
Mhm.
matters. So that also paved the way. Not only that you're equipped with competence, but also you have to package yourself physically. Because sometimes remember the saying, the first impression. So
Mhm.
that's yeah. You need to package yourself as well.
I remember as well one of the celebrities, iconic celebrity said, wear a suit and it will represent you well. So
Mhm.
I think that's one of the stories of Rolando. No, what a great story, by the way.
Indeed,
The
it is indeed.
transformation, yeah.
Correct. From the transformation, from
Mm-hmm.
the movement, and from his humble beginnings and his accidental becoming a project manager, the accident of becoming a quantity surveyor, and then he pursued and then worked
Mm-hmm.
for it, and to becoming chartered now that he's chartered. But before we check and listen to his APC preparation story, let's have a word from our sponsors as we host PAQS 2021.
PICQS is excited to have National University Philippines or NU as a supporting affiliate partner for the PAQS 24th Congress this November 2021. Founded in 1900 as Colegio Filipino, National University has been a dynamic institution committed to nation building and guided by the core values and characterized by the cultural heritage of dynamic Philippinism. Throughout the years, NU has been true to its mission to providing relevant, innovative, and accessible quality education and other development programs. Thank you, National University, and see you in PAQS 2021.
Okay, let's hear more about the APC preparation of Mr. Rolando Seprado. Ayan. So last time when you were, what moved you to take APC apart from this when your boss mentioned you have to step up?
Yeah.
Was it the igniting line for you to push for it?
Uh, you know, lots of people are seeing life quite negatively, right? And even those insulting words. Okay, I really learned it from my wife that try to look life positively, except COVID. Except COVID. Uh, um, my friend Sally actually, she was taunting me, and I know she doesn't mean anything, but her words when she told me, Rolando, you cannot go side by side with these people. When he refers these people as the other nationality who's
Uh-huh.
having a good position in our company, and that triggers me. And by mind you, okay, those people, whatever their skins are, they're not the one who's pushing you down. You just need to ask them for help. And like for example, my mentor Gordon, okay, because of his push that I felt the need now to get a professional certification. So, because professional certification or chartership reflects the standard of practice, and it means a lot. Those post nominals attached to your name are doing something for you. It will give you a chance, an opportunity to get promoted, or if not by position, or given a chance to handle much more challenging and fruitful and rewarding role,
Agree.
and and better pay. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the
So
bottom line.
yeah, both the because it goes side by side. They said I don't need money to be happy. Um, uh, that's too hypocritical. You need one, especially with this type of society that we have. You need you cannot have your happiness for you cannot sustain your happiness if you don't have money. So the need to have a certification, I think I need it. So that time I was really very very determined to do it. There.
uh, Of course. When there's nobody who knows you, once they check out, let's say your LinkedIn profile and see the post nominals that you have, the post nominals speak for itself. Like,
Yeah.
okay, he has been through, he graduated from here at what, and then he took MSQS, and then he's a chartered and certified quantity surveyor. So what more can you ask for? This is the profile of Engineer Rolando. So without even knowing you, they already know what you can deliver. So I think
Exactly.
that's the that's what the post nominal does. Okay,
Yep.
but then also when you took the APC, was it straight away all aces, or
Oh
did you
no,
have
no,
to
no,
really
no, no,
struggle?
no. I told you. I always see a struggle as like just a stumbling block. Okay. Don't any failures that you're going to meet along your life, just take it and don't stop aiming and grabbing the opportunity of whatever you want to be in your life. During my first, yes, by the way, I got referred in my first attempt. That's I prepared alone, around mid 2010. Okay. Um, I did. I thought I can handle it by myself alone. Okay. One of the reason I took my MSc in quantity surveying is mainly, or actually mainly, to have those knowledge that a quantity surveying does. That's why I took the masters in quantity surveying. Okay. Not that I don't have a sponsor or supervisor or mentor. That's a reason for me to being referred. It's the way I took it. Going back to my quote in this patch. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I said there, to succeed with the APC, we must learn how to make use of our resources. Actually, before I go continue, when I asked my good friend if he recalls who told me about make use of resources, it seems he forgot. He really forgot. I consider him not just a mere friend. He's the godfather of my daughter. Okay,
Uh-huh.
yeah. He's also um, a diver and a triathlete as like myself. He might be surprised. His name is Benji Sabat. You know,
Wow.
his way of living, both professionally and personally, enlightened me how to live or how to deal with mine too.
Wow.
Well, I have really many good friends that I look up to. They are very like very humble. If you meet them, you will not realize that they are holding high positions in their companies.
Mm-hmm.
I have a good friend, really a good friend. He became my my student diver, Napoleon Soldevilla.
Uh-huh.
He's a mechanical engineer, but he is very very good. And without them knowing, okay, they I make them. as a resources, the reason I know now, the reason why I failed my first attempt is because not because I don't have the knowledge, not because I don't have the sponsor, not because I don't that sponsor that will teach me, not because my mentor is not teaching me, but because I failed to use my resources well. If I had used my resources well, I have known that knowledge is not enough. But to pass an APC, you need to bring all your answers into level 3 as much as possible, whether it's level 1, level 2 requirement. Try your best to bring it to level 3. Nobody will stop you. Okay? So
Yeah.
what that's why I in this code of mine in the patch, to succeed with the APC, we must learn how to make use of our resources. Our beloved PICQS is providing valuable resources for all members aspiring for quantity surveying chartership. I
Yeah.
encourage you to grab and make use of those resources well and be one of us chartered certified professional QS and continue uplifting the Filipino quantity surveyors' quality and standard of practice worldwide. So I failed, yes, but I don't blame anyone, not because of the assessor, but because of myself. I failed to bring it to level 3. That's it. I
I,
failed to make use of my resources. That's it.
I
That
That's
think,
the
yeah,
yeah.
that is very very good point, Rolando, no? Because there are a lot of professionals or quantity surveyors who are shelling themselves. In other words, they are not maximizing the resources of the organizations, because there are a lot of opportunities, there are a lot of help that we could get in becoming a PICQS members.
right.
The guidance, the materials, and the camaraderie, the family. I call
Mhm.
it the family of Filipino quantity surveyors. So that's a very good point to highlight, that we are not only an organization, but rather we are helping everyone to succeed on their journeys, on their professional career. So I guess that's it.
Agree, because
Mhm.
that's actually the main reason why PICQS was formed. It is to provide this structured trainings, like there was already a roadmap on how PICQS is gonna be 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now, because that is the vision that was formed by the founding members of PICQS, most especially Chair Julie. So after you have gone through the referral of your first application in APC, let us try and take a look on what happened when you try it the second time through this segment. Okay, so now we are on this part wherein we are going to check and hear from our featured guest on what has he done or during the second attempt of APC. He mentioned that he was alone the first time he tried it, and then it was in his own being that he thinks that there's something lacking, and then moved into, and let's see what happens next. So, Sir Orlando, what happened on your second attempt of taking your APC, and how can you describe the experience? I've heard that
Okay.
there's a number of people already involved in this.
Yes. Yes. Um. I have treasured my preparation for 3 years for APC. Okay, because first I don't know about QSing before, and then I realized quantity surveying is not just one subject of estimating and doing some IP interim payments and variations.
Yes.
And I realized there are minimum 16 to and another two competencies that you need to be well versed and really good at. Okay,
Agree.
just imagine that there are lots of competency subjects, and inside those inside those subjects, there's a lot of subtopics that you have to learn as well. Imagine if I will be doing it alone, there will be a disaster in my brain, Just so I was just really, really, really lucky to have met Julie. Doc Julie, hello. Shout out to you. I met Julie way back early of 2010. It was through my colleague in Blair Anderson, Nila Di Maano. Okay, uh, she was then the first membership secretariat of the PICQS, and she's my colleague in Blair Anderson, and she's also my student diver. She's a rescue diver as well. So I met Julie, and I got invited to join PICQS. And to much of my surprise, we have almost the same identical version. I want to have a QS studies um, in structured in the Philippines, and that's what Julie is doing right now. Okay, so during those early time, let's go back to my APC preparation for the second time around. Okay, considering those various subjects that I need to be prepared, I initiated the subgroup inside the PICQS, which I called PEG. Okay, it's
Okay.
actually an acronym which stands for PICQS Elite Group. Okay,
Wow.
I choose that acronym because I'm quite fond of making a good name, and you will not forget. Okay, so PEG, in order, why PEG? If I will be a single peg, I would not be able to make a tent stand by its own. It will fall down. I need another pegs, okay, to help me out. So together with my friends who I met in personal in PICQS, I met Lilian Hiron, Janet Tayag, Butch Magramo, Almario, Salvador. We have also some sit-ins like Benji and Jane, Unico, and Nila. And we are also visited occasionally by our very own chair, Julie. So the big help among those people in my journey in APC, of course, besides my family, my wife, is a good friend of mine. A dami kong good friend, right? So a big help. I told her, you have to watch because I'm gonna shout your name. I said, yeah. The one who really helped me in gaining a lot of knowledge in quantitative surveying is my classmate in MSc, Miss Lilian Hiron. Yeah,
Actually,
because
sir, I think.
she she is really very helpful beyond you can expect as a friend. She really helped me a lot. She, especially with my dissertation, the dissertation, she really helped me a lot. Um, and my preparation the APC, okay, we struggled because during that peg, okay, there were no structured program that's just like what we are having right now in PICQS.
Uh-huh.
We started it, and then I dig some files. I saw a presentation made by myself, and it says there, peg pop. So the pop already existed by me. Okay, I was the one who created the pop, and I am the first head of that committee. And I was helped by these people, these brilliant people, and we shared those subjects. What good thing is like for those subjects, I assigned each person to do a presentation. Let's say you are going to talk about contract administration. You're going to talk about contract construction technology. You're going to talk about contract practice. You are to talking about measurement. So I assigned them, and then in my place we call it the PEG headquarters. That's the first session that we have way back December
Mhm.
2, 2011. Okay,
Mhm. Is
I
this the one
remember
that
that.
we're looking at the screen right now?
Yes, yes,
There's
yes. You
like
can
the
see,
Okay.
you can see.
whiteboard.
I assigned those. It's my handwriting, by the way. Sorry. So I assigned it to them. Okay, so we each of us has make a turn of to present it, and I'm quite strict, by the way, during those session. It's like I have a gobble like a judge. When I started, the session starts. Of course, our English is not our first language, so we are
Mhm.
facing a lot of difficulties in expressing ourselves or articulating our
Mhm.
ideas to other person. So we made the point that when it's the session starts, we will strictly speak in English. And if I catch you, I will really reprimand you. I told them I will be really strict. I said if you cannot sustain, get out. That's how we do it. And also, if I'm the one who committed, I will excuse also myself because I sometimes I forget, but I need to abide to stick with the rules, and that's how we were able to manage. We have the pilot team part of the elite group. Peg, we need.
That's
Yes, we became like the we are all most of us are founding members of PICQS, by the way.
mhm. I think
Yeah.
there's a violent reaction from Miss Lily. I told you not to say.
Bro.
Yeah, she's really a good one. And by the way, I started the peg, I started the pop, and luckily and fortunately, I am also the first product of the PICQS who passed RICS APC.
Wow.
Wow.
Well
I think
done.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I on that year 2012 is quite really well, 2011 was quite a failure in my first attempt, but I came back with a vengeance. In 2012, I got three birds in one stone. I finished my MSQS, thanks Lillian. I passed my MAIQS, or the Australia Institute of Quantity Surveyor APC, thanks to my group and Doc Julie, and also my MRICS. I got it in the same
Wow.
year.
All in the
It's
same year.
yeah. It's
Yes.
it's it's really a one of a kind vengeance from the
Yes.
first attempt.
Yeah.
And I think
My wife
yeah.
always told me tells me that the best vengeance for those negative critics is to
Mhm.
make yourself successful.
Yeah, it will kill them.
Agree.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. Okay. So
And
go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, and I think it we are benefiting from those sacrifices. We are glad that like-mindeds like you, Engineer Rolando, came to form a group, which is the PEG, and
Yeah.
now the new generations of QSS are benefiting from these uh, uh, products or the systems that you put forward for the PICS. And well done for that.
Well
Thank you.
done. This is really
Mhm.
the foundation of how the structured training of PICQS is now. Looking at
Agree.
the mere what we're looking at here is not just scribbles, but these are the mandatory and core competencies that and optional
Agree.
competencies that we need to
Yeah.
have in order to pass APC. And what they
Mm-hmm.
did, or what PEG did, actually paved the way to how the structured training is now. And now that we even have our own PICQS APC.
APC.
So congratulations to you, Mr. Rolando. You're part of it, and of course to
Mm-hmm.
the head of our APC, Ma'am Lilian Geron, and she has a message for you. I admire you. I admire you, my very first friend in PICQS. Keep inspiring our fellows. You're such a good example.
Yeah.
I think we have a number of fans right now.
Mm-hmm.
We have I think you have your family greeting you all the
That's
way
my
from,
eldest, Ina.
oh, Ivana.
Yeah, my daughter.
And we have Mr. Raimundo, your
My
brother.
big bro. Yeah,
Wow. Okay. You have such
my
wonderful
daughter.
daughters.
Yes.
Okay. And then another message from Mom Lillian here. Those achievements are all because of your intelligence, strong determination, and passion to help others, not to mention the love, support, and sacrifices of your wife, Alma. Yes. So, behind the success of every man is a woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think yeah.
Mhm.
I think I'm quite interested on the schedule.
The
How
schedule.
did you how did you made it how did you make it to fit in all those initiatives, those strategies? uh did you have struggles along the way?
What
Um.
were the
Uh,
sacrifices
Mm-hmm. The
during your
sacrifices
preparation for
basically.
APC?
yes. First, the sacrifice is the time, the quality time I'm supposed to spend with my family. Okay. Just
Mm.
imagine. In our villa here. Okay. I have a separate room, which I if you notice those photos of Peg, you
Mm-hmm.
can see diving equipment. I used to teach there, and I'm trying to close myself alone there and study. And I wake up very early, so my kids are still asleep, and I don't want to disturb them. Then I will call my wife that I'm going home from office, and please let them sleep ahead so that they will not see me. So I will
Right.
go straight towards my classroom. Sometimes my wife already prepared my food in there, okay, for my dinner and my snacks for the whole to last the whole night. So those sacrifice, when you hear your kids shouting like, "Where's Daddy? I haven't seen him. We haven't played anymore." You know
Mm-hmm.
how painful it was, in my heart. But I need to focus. I'm just telling them, just bear with me. This is for you. Okay, so those sacrifice and the time management. And by the way, one of the attitude, or the what we can say, style, or the life that I'm trying to lead, or to live, is, um, don't focus much for your self own or own self benefit. You
Mm-hmm.
can have more drive, motivation, mm, the, if you have a purpose, not only for myself. You don't
Yeah.
don't set your aim only for you. Set
Agreed.
it with a mindset that, yes, it will benefit you personally, professionally, but also your family. My kids, these 8 kids, the wonderful ones, I am proud I was able to support them in their studies. I have four professionals now. Um,
Wow.
okay, and I know, they may be far. I know they are praying for me. I have an aeronautical
Mhm.
engineer, um, uh,
Wow.
I have a industrial pharmacies.
Mm.
Wow.
Yes, and I have a multimedia, and I have HRM graduate, and now my fifth daughter is taking up accountancy. So
Wow.
don't, but they sacrifice too. They were not able to see me. They were not able to have time
Mm-hmm.
with me. But I need to manage.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need to manage not all that. By the way, not only I'm doing my APC preparation that time, I'm also as mentioned by Eric, I'm a diving instructor. I did not stop. I also teach. I teach. I remember I teach from in Friday, usually weekend Friday here, starting from 4 a.m. in the morning up to almost 10 in the evening, just teaching diving. So, but along the
Wow.
way, I'm still preparing for my APC. So, life should not stop. But there
Mm-hmm.
are some sacrifices that what you there's a struggle, but you need to only to really manage yourself, the time management, the emotional management, the you cannot don't do it alone. Okay, you are not
Mm-hmm.
alone. Just how many, just imagine this, how sad it will be that you're going to prepare your APC alone, which I did way back
Mm-hmm.
2010. Okay, there are billions of people here and you're doing it by yourself. So it's quite ridiculous. You make use of your resources. Not your resources, by the way, is not just the knowledge. The resources is also the support that you will get from your company, from your colleagues, from your family, your wife, your kids. You'll never know. When you're
Mm-hmm.
down and very tired of proceeding with your preparation, a one kiss, a hug of your kids, it's enlightening. It's enlightening. It's really true that when you hear your kids as simple as, "Dad, how are you? Dad, I miss you." Those really, you know, more than enough power
Yeah.
to go through the struggles
Agree.
and sacrifices.
Agree.
Mm.
Agree. And I think we can all learn from those events in our lives. Those were the moments that we sacrificed the most
Yeah.
of our time. Those were the moments which are selfless, because we are not only thinking of ourselves, we are thinking of our responsibility. So
Mm.
I guess you became a good role model to your family, Sir
Agree.
Rolando. And in
Mm.
terms of the roles, no, um, what are your roles in PICQS now?
Well, actually, uh, at first,
Mhm.
we started PICQS, and I know Julie is really a good friend of mine, a mentor. Um, uh, Julie offered me actually, why don't take up the presidency, be an officer for KICS? And I said, no. I said no. Because not because I don't want, but
Mhm.
because it's my uh, personality or attitude that when I commit myself, I'll commit 108%. It was also during the time where I engaged in another. When I got successful in my APC, I was able. I tried to balance it with the sports. That's after a year or during 2013, I founded the Filipino International Triathletes. For me, I need to not because I we have Julie to do and empower the quantity surveyors, Filipino quantity surveyors.
Uh,
Now I
Mhm.
think in the same manner or pattern, I founded Filipino International Triathlete.
Mhm.
Not just because for myself again, but because I see or I saw a chance and opportunity to live a better, a healthier life balanced with mental and academic exercises like professional organization like PICQS. So there should be also be a group that will enhance or promote the healthy lifestyle.
Mhm.
It works for me. Uh, I am proud to be a golden boy. I'm a 50-year-old, but I can still. I feel stronger than when I was at 20. So I paid forward through PICQS by. I'm not declining any offer of any CPDs. Whether it's my, they call us SME, subject matter expert.
Mhm.
Even if the topic is not my expertise, I said yes. Why not? I also mentor um, fellow PICQians, even the one not yet PICQs. I always encourage them. So, um, and then now we have our own PICQS APC, and
Yes.
I'm proud and privileged and honored to be one of the first chairperson of
Mhm.
chair assessor. I was actually with I sat with Azon, the previous interviewee that you had,
Yes.
and
He's
I was also the counselor for Roland or Kyola. I think he will be the next one. So
yes, he's
I
one.
have been mentoring since 2014. Okay. Although there was earlier part, and I don't call mentoring to my more than qualified friend Lilian, because she's really. I'm just like a fan supporting her. Go Lilian, go Lilian, and also Lilian and Janet Tayag. So that's how I was able to, like, I am able to giving back to our beloved PICQS. I never say no to an opportunity to speak. For example, like this, sharing the so-called success. Okay,
Mhm.
so I am really privileged and honored to have a chance to pay it forward, to pay it back to PICQS.
Right. Giving back is always a one important thing because that's where you get an what do you call it some kind of pride, like if you see the person that you have mentored pass the APC, the happiness that you would be feeling is immeasurable, given that
Yeah.
okay, you were part of his success. And I think that's what makes success really memorable, is when you help
Mhm.
other people succeed as well. Okay, and before that, I think in this part, since you have gone through all the preparation of the presentation of your APC, what you have experienced, the struggles, and the camaraderie and the relationships that have formed, and then the structured trainings that have been formed, how PICQS was formed in parallel as you go through your APC. What were the changes that happened to your career after passing APC?
Okay. What are the changes? Okay. The one for sure is my name become longer. Okay. Actually, a friend of mine, Engineer Ronald Ang, he told me, uh, uh, he said, I'm proud of you, and you have made your a long way success. I said, no, it's okay. I'm just, because I'm here. I need that one, but thank you anyway. So what's the changes are? Like my level of confidence boost up really, and then added credibility and when representing the company, because you will be guided with your professional ethics and practices. You can say the opportunity or the bankability increases or increased, or I hope it will increase more. Okay, and my desire to learn never really stopped because of these like our PICQs. We have a requirement that you need to have a number of minimum of number of CPDs that you really have to take in a year. Okay,
Yes.
so you need with those simple ethics or code of your organization, it really, that's the difference that's make you it gives you a continuous learning. The desire to learn is endless. Okay. um uh, I remember, even how I was able to at least improve. If I My way of speaking, by the way, I know I'm not that good, but I have improved at least one or two notch. Okay. uh,
You're
the practice during, I remember, I have to practice my APC presentation to anyone who's willing, who are willing.
Wow.
Okay, even my colleagues, my wife, even my wife. You see, she might be knowledgeable of my critical analysis than me, because I've been talking to her maybe 100 times before the APC. So. Uh, yeah, because you need to have a timing within the 10 minutes given to you, right? So those practices, that's all the changes that happened to my career when passing. And then uh, I know I don't. Somebody is saying that they are looking up to me. Myself, I have some figures in my mind which I mentioned to plus AJ, and I know everyone also look up into this guy. He's like Senator Enrile, yeah, who until now he's really really sharp. I mean,
Very sharp.
so yeah, very sharp. I basically I admire those lawyers. Yeah, even another friend of mine again. Okay, he's a very young, handsome lawyer. Is my compadre as well, Attorney Morgan Nicanor. I consider them really having a brilliant minds. So
Mhm.
those change I've attained the chartership, and I know it's still in my bucket list. Okay, never too late. I could be a lawyer.
Yeah.
So whether if, for example, if I retire, let's say 60, okay, I have 10 years now to go, and with following the footstep of in really. So if you're 60, you still have 40 years
To serve.
to serve.
That's a really good point you have there, and
Mhm.
we really admire your eagerness to continuously learn and upgrade for your
Agree.
being and your professional career. But we are really interested to know more and see about your case study, which you have aced for your second attempt to becoming a chartered professional. So why don't we check out your case study through this next segment? Okay, Eric, that was really fun. The rest of we didn't even notice the
Mhm.
time that we have been through the discussing about Mr. Rolando's experience, life
Yeah.
experience, and not just career experience, but also life experience. So it has really been a wonderful an hour and a half of discussion, this eight
Mhm.
patch session. But before that, maybe I can share with you the few slides that I have shown a while ago. Okay, so this was the peg that we were Mr. Rolando is sharing a while ago. Yeah. So you can see there, Mom Lillian and then Chair Julie.
Yeah.
There
I
are
met
some
some
of
of
the
them
batch.
before already, and
Mm-hmm.
again, as I have said a while ago, big thanks to them. The
Agree.
the minds of
The
why
minds
the
of them.
structure
Yes.
of the structured PICQS training has come
Yes.
to realize.
Okay, welcome back, Mr. Rolando. And we are now here at the portion of Patch where we're going to check out and see your case study that you have presented and aced for your final assessment interview. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Take it
Ah,
away.
okay. Actually, I was a bit of a surprise yesterday that I learned that I need to present my critical analysis again. I don't know. This is maybe my 100th time, but I will do my best to deliver it. Um, okay. Let me start by saying, okay. Um, can you see, right? You can see my screen.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Um, my my project or my critical analysis is about the Hangar H. It's a painting hangar. Um, it's owned by the Emirates here in Dubai. Okay. These are the forward, or they are the reason or the purpose of this is to provide your expertise and showcase what the various skills that may will qualify you to a chartership. Okay? I was lucky during that time. I got the confidentiality statement. They allow me to use this project as my case study. Okay, so let me start. Um, Blair Anderson. I was working with Blair Anderson then, and during this project. Okay, um, the project is the Emirates New Engineering Center in Dubai Airport, where we have seven maintenance hangars, one paint hangar, workshop and plant building, offices, gate, car park. So the contract is based on FIDIC fourth edition with some amendments. The eighth hangar or the hangar H painting was originally as a provisional sum in the main contract work. Now, the in the original program under the main contract, Hangar is supposed to finish then on 30 June 2005, but due to unforeseen delays, okay, it's only possible to start early in 2006. So main contract including Hangar A was tendered on way back 2003. Just imagine the um, the distance or the period between the tender and the actual construction of the provisional sum. So expectedly, the original will be way lesser than the actual. So there will be and there's a cost uncertainty. So first, let's go to the client requirement. It's the client requirements to be like the first of its kind in the Middle East. Okay, and to have the paint hanger for aircraft for their own fleet and up to the size of an Airbus A380. If you are not aware of how big is Airbus A380, it is like around a wingspan of 18 meters. Okay, so that big. It's like um, almost a size of a football field. Okay, it can carry maximum 853 passengers, and they're double decker. And our client wants to have it a unique and a state of the art facility, the best of its kind. Okay, why? They want it for their own airlines or their own aircraft, and also to enhance the company's reputation and prestige. So uh, in this scenario or in this project, the most important client's requirement is the quality. But of course, they want to eliminate the sending of their aircraft to other countries for painting. They're sending it to China, okay, to France. to just to paint. So they want to as soon as possible minimize that cost. So they want the hangar or the facilities to be ready as soon as possible. And also they have a commitment during the time 2008 Dubai Air Show to really showcase their capability of painting a full or a whole hangar, a whole airplane without cutting them off into parts. And lastly, they of course the cost. Although the cost is the third priority of the client because of they want the best quality. It's not a reason for us just to spend unnecessarily. So we still need to have an Airbus, a certainty of your cost. So my role and responsibility in this organization, I was the team leader, and as you can see, I only reporting to one director, which is my mentor, Gordon, and I have some fellow subordinates with me. My good friends Nestor's Pedrito and Sally is one of them, and someone Nandika Jeffrey. So those are my organization. So the key issue here is the cost uncertainty for Hangar 8. Why it is a key issue? Just imagine during the contract pricing of this provisional sum, it's only 128 million dirhams, and the actual or the final cost for this one is the value was 198.8. So original budget preparation, I was not involved then. Okay, but it's not an excuse that you're not involved and you keep on blaming your predecessors. It's not a good way to do it. So since I'm in charge, I immediately when I joined, I mentioned earlier that when I joined, I immediately took the liberty on checking all the remaining provisional sums that has not been expended yet, and that what I did, I anticipate. Okay, I had did my own budget estimate, which reaching to 160 million. It's around 25% more than what is priced in the BOQ. So I made. How did I able to produce this estimate? I make a cost plan, okay, using the historical data that I have, and then other current market rates, then considering other client requirements specific for Hangar 8, and consider also complex and highly sophisticated requirement, which is also specific for Hangar 8. I use the rates and prices for the existing maintenance hangars for those like structural and architectural items. So I was able to price it at 188 million, which is now 48% more than the budget, the initial budget. This is the cost comparison. The amount for a maintenance hangar is 100 million, and for the provisional sum, it's 128. My estimated amount is 188. So there's a big difference. I will tell you later why. So we need to have an option how to mitigate this huge increase, or is it a value for money? So there's an option. I either go for tender. During those time, the client hope that they will receive a better price and lower than my cost plan of 188. And as option two is alternative specification. This will mean to streamline the specification, alternative reduced specification. So I'll get going back to the quality. This option two is outright rejected because they don't want to reduce any specification because it otherwise it's now contrary to the main priority, which is the quality. They want to be the best. So my another option three is to treat Hangar 8 as a variation within the main contract. So by through issuing the engineer's instruction to the main contract, the construction of the Hangar 8 could immediately start, and we valued it in accordance with sub-cost 52 valuation of variation under 1988. So this is what I got. Comparing during that, if we go for option one, which is take it to the tender returns are 220 and 250. They're almost doubling the original provisional sum. So I think the best logical, both logical and by looking at the numbers, the best option is to consider it as a variation. So I treat we treat the Hangar 8 as a variation with the main contract. The contractor immediately upon receipt of engineer's instruction started the construction, um, because the contract says yeah, once they receive an instruction they should not they should start immediately without any further delay, or even though the price is still to be finalized. So during those times, I led my team in valuing the variation. We use the contract BOQ as much as it is applicable. Then we also use a new rates by deriving it from the BOQ as a basis or built up from quotations, invoices, and receipt of the actual expenditure of the Hangar 8 construction. We finally valued it at 198. It's around 55% of the original budget. And it is around 10 million over my revised budget estimate. So I need to explain again. I did a further analysis of the chosen option three. I need to have the client or the client representative need to have the tools to present to the higher management why there's a jump, another jump of 10 million. Okay, now I realize or I analyze that the structural roof still works maintenance of the maintenance hangar unit rate are not is not applicable for the reason of that one, it was bid 2003, and also during that time, the other contractor who who won this bid of the structural steel has dived down his rate in hoping that he will also be successful in winning the main contracts. So his rate is around 4,745 per ton. While during those times, okay, the average rate of tons is already 7,500. He's really quite short. And during the tender where we instructed the provisional sum 2006, the rate is averaged to 10,000 per ton. So this is really something that we need to highlight to the client. Now, another one is the structural steel framework for more complex and it requires stronger design. Why? Because paint hanger, it's a paint hanger. It's not a maintenance hanger. The ceiling for maintenance hanger is not really required. But for the paint hanger, we need to confine the painting works, and also we need some gadgets, equipments to be hung. So the frameworks will need to be stronger than compared to the maintenance hanger. So basically, to make it stronger, it will require more quantities of steel. And to compare maintenance hangers and hanger 8, the painting hanger, it requires 3,000 tons, while the maintenance is only 1,800 tons. It's almost double. So just looking at the item A and B, the higher unit rate combined with more quantities will cost higher, will produce a higher cost, which is actually the steel works alone is 14%. And the another factor, major factor, is the different services, the MEP, because it's a painting work or painting hanger, it requires a special drainage system to collect the industrial waste. Okay, before it will be allowed to dispose in the municipality sewer line. And the paint hanger has a dedicated treatment plant of its own. And considering the activities that will be operating there, they need to have a firefighting features well specialized and sophisticated equipped to counter any untoward incident or due to fire or explosion inside the paint hanger. So those are the major factors, and which I was able to convince the client that the cost is certain and there is a value on the cost that I produced. The further with this option, I was able to prevent unnecessary costs as well. I need to highlight that in the tender of the main contractor, the main contractor also participated in the tender, and he considered site supervision at 15 million. Okay, it is more than even higher than what he put as a site supervision of the entire main works. While when I measured it, it's only 3.5 as in my valuation. So we were able to have an effective price and rates negotiation. How? We have a joint workshops, the engineers, the client representative, the contractor, the subcontractor, and we did some analysis and discussion and deliberation, and we reached to an agreement. And we were able to reach to a reasonable rates and prices, which are acceptable to the client and agreeable to the main contractor. So what the experience I gained and the lesson I learned is that are time budgets checks to ensure cost certainty is really a must, especially if you're just like taking over of your predecessor as the lead, the QS. You need to know. You need to highlight it to the client. What are the possible risks that they will be facing? Okay, meeting clients' requirements, the quality. You need to stick to that one, or otherwise, at least provide him the options. So my recommendation is the best option, I believe. Valuing variation, maintaining the option of the priority of the client, which is the quality, and also able to mitigate any further delays. Because when you go for a tender, there will be a lot of documents coming back and forth before the work will even start. But because of instruction as a variation to the main works, the construction of the Hang H proceeded. So we just need to have an effective and good management. Like all the disagreements and differences should be contained and resolved, which I was able to manage. I was able to proactively coordinate with the contractor and communicate what the client wants, and communicate what the designer expect, and I was able to have a successful negotiation with the contractor, and we reached to an agreement and the dispute avoidance, and all are happy. So the Hangar H was finally introduced in the 2008 air show. This is one of the that's airplane that has been painted. This is the actual paint hangar. You see those structures above the ceiling or along the ceiling. Those are the one carried by the steel structure. So this ends my presentation, and I thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that great presentation, Mr. Rolando. It was such a good case study or critical analysis. It covers a lot, a wide range of competencies. So, during your interview or during your final assessment, there were, based on the case study, there were mentioned about the value of the variations. So we just want to highlight these items. So how do you value variations?
So
Okay.
now we're with this APC questions
Yeah.
after during the final
Okay.
question.
Since this is an APC question, fellow PICQs and all those QSS who wants to be chartered, as I mentioned earlier, when you answer a question, try to bring it to level 3. Okay,
Mhm.
not enough that you have the knowledge, not enough that you can practice it. You need to make it sure that you're able to bring it to level 3. Okay, this is how we are going to value variations. First of all, you have to consider what the contract says. Let's say, for example, let's say you are using FIDIC 1987. So the contract says there, the first um, line or the first tier of valuing variation is to use BOQ rates for those applicable items. Okay, so you can use directly and take the quantities and take the BOQ rates, and you have the amount. Now, if there is no direct, like similar or the same description under the BOQ, still you can use the BOQ as a basis. Just for example, let's say the change of painting works for the steel. You can still derive, take it out from the BOQ and just analyze what are the differences, and then derive your new rates based on the BOQ. And the third one is to, if there's no other BOQ related or applicable items, and the BOQ cannot be used as a basis, then you have to consider having the quotations, valid quotation, by the way. And the best is should be the invoices, which is representing the actual expenditure of the
Expenditure.
contractor, and build up with the new rates using the either the allowed markups, like for example overhead and profits, as you should be able, you should always make your assessment valuing based on the contract provision. And
Yes.
with those, it doesn't stop there. You have to present it to the client that these are the options, these are the possibilities, so you will be have a value for your money. So that's how you value variation.
Agree. I totally agree. So it is always a matter of presenting to the
Mhm.
management what are your options, and justifying to them why are you recommending one of these options for them to take or for them to consider. And that's how, and then the next step would be presenting it and then discussing it with your subcontractors or your contractor to be able to have the amicable settlement or amicable agreement onto the rates or onto the quantities on how these variations are going to be valued. Okay, thank you very much for that answer. Next, we move on to the next APC question, which is uh, how did you evaluate an EOT claim?
Okay. First, again, refer always to the contract. And in this, I would assume, okay, since we are already evaluating, I suppose you're referring to the cost of the AOT. If you're referring to the time,
Probably.
then it should be evaluated as per the provision of the contract. For the time, you need to make sure that the contractor has met all the necessary provisional requirements, like, for example, giving out notices to a claim that has been arisen. This because notices is really important. Either it's a extension of time claim or additional pay claim, because the notices will serve um, a warning for the client, like, or the chance for the engineers or the project management to flag them to the client and let them know that you are facing a risk. So we need to have that notices, and so that we can formulate any mitigation. So evaluating the extension of time claim needs to have a forensic examination of the existing program, and then how you are going to bring back the situation of the contractor before the event has arisen, and update whatever the status of the project, and then start evaluating the the effect, or the you have to know or establish the cost and the effect of the event. That's how you going to, and then how it affect the critical path. In
Mm.
some contract, they're really strict that if it doesn't move or affect the critical path, then there's no extension of time. Now, there's actually a big study or a big discussion, or that's a topic of its own, extension of time claim. Now, let's now just for the QSA. I mean, for those who want to value extension of time, the keyword is to consider the actual expenditure of the contractor. When you value the extension time, you have to, again, you are not valuing the amount of during the extended period, but you have to bring it back to the period where the delay occurred and how it affected the contractor. So, for example, if your completion date is, let's say, today, and you have an extension of time of 30 days, you are not going to analyze the cost, what happened from today and the extended time. No, you have to go back. When? So maybe the event occurred during March. So from March to April, that's how you're going to value the claims. Now, what are the head of claims? You can have the site overheads, head office overheads, finance charges. Um, there's a lot of heads of claims, but you need to make sure that as a contractor, the one who's submitting the claim, will be able to substantiate it properly, and the one who's evaluating, for example, if it's me, I need to verify all the actual resources that has been deployed, because the golden rule in claim is to have records, records,
Mhm.
records. So whoever has the bona fide record wins. And however, in real life, okay, you may be able to provide recommendation of extension of time claim or cost. Don't be despair if the client or the engineer will not take it, and then try to negotiate with the contractor. That recommendation that you did has a value, because that one will become a tools, okay, for the client to use in their negotiation. Because those, in the real life, let's say you have the contractor has claimed 10 million um, dollars, for example, and you've only valued it for 1.7 million, for example, and the client is going to agree with 3. So don't be despair that you're not, he's not taking your recommendation. It's okay, because in the real life they have these are business anyway. They have the political wheels as well. They need to have established a repeat relationship with the contractors, with the clients. So consider that you have done your best as a professional. You have reviewed and just give your best explanation and advice to the client.
Yeah. And to highlight as well, EOT has become a common construction activity in many construction projects, and there are a lot of disputes over this, and it has come to a lot of recommendations or solutions. It doesn't matter where you're working, from the client, the contractor, or the consultant. I think what matters most is the resolution of such issues and how you come up with the common goal of the project. We have to be a pro project. So, yeah, moving forward with our assessment questions, final assessment questions. In terms of the ethics, which are very important questions in the APC, what is conflict of interest?
Before I answer you,
Yeah.
I'll give another tips for the aspiring and APC interviewee. Right, when you are doing your interview or answer, okay, uh, as you notice me, I'm quite talkative, right? So so if you are well versed with the question or the topic that has been
Mhm.
asked to you, okay, try to be detailed, try to own the conversation, try to grab the opportunity to speak and articulate what you want to say. And you will never know. You have only 1 hour to be assessed. Okay? They
Mhm.
can go more than that, maybe 10 minutes max, but usually they will stick to the 1 hour. In my experience, when I passed my APC, This ethical question was just in a hurry. I already consumed all the time telling them the stories of my how I was able to answer the I mean that to answer their questions. When you answer the question you're in your APC, you need to own it. You have the best thing is to recall whatever your studies like. For example, who delivered the conflict of interest? Maybe it was Julie. Okay, Julie was telling me that even if you don't know, okay, exactly. But there's always a guidance or tip. So as much as you can speak, keep on talking until this assessor will tell you stop. You have enough. Okay. Now going back to your question,
Mhm.
what is conflict of interest? You know, I remember this. Uh, in technical competence or core competence, I'm telling you to bring it to the level three. Okay. Now, the, this could be a trick, but a practical one. Okay, which I did when you are engaged, where you're engaging with ethical questions. Okay, it's quite different. You need to be careful and cautious, and try to be straightforward. Okay, you have because this is talking about an ethical behavior, the conflict of interest. Like, for example, giving full disclosure to others, competing tenderers, or offer of payment, gives bribes in contrary to the standard required and charges surveyor. Like, for example, if the question is usually like, if you are offered to have dinner with your contractor, will you accept it? you know there's always an excuse. Okay, you can actually, but during the APC, straightforward, no. That's the end of the question, right? So that's my tip to you when it comes to an ethical question. Straightforward answer, no, I will not, because I rather have my time working on the projects. So just the straightforward there, and then the assessor will not have a follow-up question, because if you say yes, I will, why, in what basis, what are you going to do, then you need to explain. Okay, I have to highlight it to my supervisor, and I need to register the invitation to the higher management that I get an invitation like this. And then you need more explanation to do. But when you answer no, that's it, done. I answer your question.
Yeah,
That's a great way to answer a question. As much as you can, then you try to avoid
kill.
answers which will lead to another question.
Yeah, they will grill you. They will grill you. These assessors are really experienced ones.
Mhm. So
Okay.
so
So
mm,
go ahead.
mm,
Go ahead,
yeah,
Derek.
moving forward with another ethics questions, because I understand ethics questions are one of the dreaded questions in the APC. Even if you
Yeah.
you pass the mandatory competency questions, if you cannot pass the ethics questions, I'm surely you cannot pass the APC in general. So the next question is, what is the RICS code of ethics?
Actually, this is the last question, the only question I was asked during my APC, because they were running out of time. Okay, and the chairperson even apologized to me and said, "I'm sorry, we are all actually already beyond 1 hour, but I really need to ask you at least one question for ethics."
For
So
ethics.
I was able to answer him. Okay, so the professional ethics of RICS is like members should conduct themselves in a manner befitting members of an institution, applying standards in the professional and personal life. Members would meet the standard of the behavior expected of them. This involves learning what is right and wrong, and then going the right thing. And if your conscience tells you that something is not really right, it's probably unethical.
You usually, thank you very much for that answer. Usually it's like taking a newspaper test. If you think that while you're having a question whether or not to do it or not to do it, take a newspaper test. Like if what you've done or what you're gonna do will be posted or become the headlines tomorrow, would you be pleased, or would you be ashamed? So I think that's also one way to check it out. Thank you very much. Oh my goodness. Okay, now that we have reached the final assessment interview um to a conclusion, thank you very much, Mr. Rolando, for your time. This is the
Yeah.
first time that we have gone, or we have done a patch session for 2 hours. Could you believe? But never really realized how time has flown, because we have been enjoying each part, each segment of it, and the
Mhm.
story that you
Agree.
have shared with us, both your personal story and your personal struggles, your personal challenges, and also your career, and most importantly, your APC journey that has been inspiring and has inspired all of us this afternoon. Right, Eric?
Yeah, agree. I have a lot of learnings. I have absorbed not only on the career progression, the mantra in life, how Rolando has the mindset of never giving up,
Yes.
and it's that's life. We
Agree.
have to live with it.
Agree. Okay. So apart from this, as we draw this patch session to a close, I would like to invite Mr. Rolando for the last message for our viewers this afternoon.
Okay, don't worry. I will not take another 2 hours. Okay. Uh,
It's okay.
okay. I'll give you at least three aspect of your life to be aware of. But there's a common denominator, or which I can say approach in life. Okay, never be scared to fail or to fall. Be scared if you're not going to try and get up. Okay, so just again, make sure that you have the mindset, because mindset will offer you a lot of possibilities, and you have the motivations. The motivations are not yourself, but your purpose, why you're doing it. It could be yourself, it could be for yourself, it could be for your family. And make sure you have the methods, the process, and and the first steps, by the way, is acceptance. Don't assume that you know already
Everything.
all of
Yes.
it. Okay, you have to accept that you need help.
Yeah.
You must accept that you need more knowledge. You must accept that you have someone willing to help you. You have the resources. Make use of the resources. It could be your family, your wife, your kids, and if you are going to make sure that your APC or the critical analysis, your presentation will be understood, try explaining or presenting it to your wife or your daughter who are non QS. If they are able to understand you, then much more those assessor.
Mhm.
So make use of your resources. We have the family, our own very own family, our own experience. Draw the answers from your experience. Bring the assessor to the site. Give them the scenario how you are able to answer the question, and make use of the resources that are being provided by the PICQS. So, going back to my code, make use of your resources well, and be a resources to others too when you succeed.
Wow. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Rolando. Such an inspiring message. So
Mhm.
why don't you follow it up, Eric?
Yeah, for me, everyone has a story to tell. what I learned from this session is to never give up. Challenges will always come to defeat you, but it's up to us to be the game changer in our lives. So, again, I hope everyone is inspired by the story of our guests. We are privileged enough to learn so much in this for today's session. And for our members, see you everyone on our annual General Assembly and then for the PAQS virtual conference. And again, I'm quoting, make use of our resources. So join PICQS.
I
Good one,
I
Eric.
agree with you. Okay, so there you have it. This is another 2 hour session of Patch. We have really enjoyed the company of our featured guest engineer Rolando Seprado, and of course my dear co-host Eric Bucklig. And for now, let me close this patch session with a saying that it is your journey, and we are looking forward to feature you in the next patch session. So see you in patch, everyone, and have a good weekend. Thank you, everyone.
Stay safe,
Bye.
everyone. Bye
Thank you
Bye.
bye.
so much. Thank you for the privilege. God
Thank you very
bless.
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Pleasure is ours. Okay, bye.
Is cost certainty in a construction project even possible? Join your hosts, AJ Paredes and Eric Bucklig, and catch Patch live via YouTube as we travel to the land of seven chickens to feature engineer Rolando Seprado and the success of his APC journey. Join us as we discuss his case study, cost certainty for Airbus A380 Hangar in Dubai. All these and more on Saturday, 28 August, 3 p.m. Manila time, 11 a.m. Dubai. See you!